Got a problem, you guys. I don't have just one figure to review today. I have 5. Today we are taking a look at Transformers Generations, Autobot Whirl and TwinTwist, Autobot TopSpin and Roadbuster, and last but not least, the very first Impactor toy. So let's get them out of the boxes and take a look. So here we have each one of the figures out of their packaging, and I've got to admit, I like the overall color scheme. The orange from Impactor actually blends into all of the figures, and as you can see, they all work and they're one nice cohesive wrecking unit. I like this idea better than what we got earlier with the Bruticus set, or the Skittles, or Super Megazord, or Bruticus Megazord set. I like the cohesion we have going here. Now, I am going to take a look at each one of these guys up close and personal and then compare them to the original Bruticus set. What we have here is the Ruination set, or the Wreckers set. And as I said, Whirl, TopSpin, Impactor, Roadbuster, and, TwinTwist and TopSpin. Sorry about that. All right, so what's different? Well, there are a couple of differences. 1, paint scheme, obvious. 2, head sculpts. Hasbro pulled a fun pub here, so each one of these head sculpts is different. And 3, each one of these figures comes with their own special weapon. Starting off by taking a look at Whirl, you can see his head sculpt is the classic mono eye that Whirl has been depicted with. And his gun that he comes with is this sucker. Now, this is one big problem with all of these figures. For one reason or another, they each have trouble holding the guns, or the new special guns that they come with. Whirl's gun, which I'll just pull out right here, is, I believe, from the game, and it has a gimmick of push this thing forward, and the turrets spin. But as you saw, even though the turrets spin, he has trouble holding it, and it goes into his hand just fine, but as soon as you turn the figure, well, the thing can wobble and slide back and forth. You can easily attach his normal weapons to the gun, but at this point, we're just getting a little bit silly. Posability of Whirl is exactly the same as Vortex, who we have here. Now, this is the original retail release of Vortex, as opposed to the the San Diego Comic-Con, or the Hasbro only, or the Takara version. This is the retail version. I like to call him Cherry Vortex. So overall, look at the difference in the paint scheme here. In the paint scheme, check out the difference in paint schemes here. I gotta say, I like each of these guys individually. I think they're both very cool figures. They both look really nice, and I like the paint schemes of both of them. The orange on blue on powder blue, and then the yellow on purple on red. Just both of these paint schemes work for this mold. For the purposes of this review, I'm not going to show you guys the transformations again. I will show you the combination, but the individual transformations can be seen on my previous review and through 1,000 other reviews out there on the internet. So what I wanted to do with this review is show you the differences and how the figures stack up compared to the originals. And I gotta say, even though I really like Vortex in the alt mode, I gotta say Whirl is no slouch. But for some reason, the blue and the orange color scheme makes me think that this figure feels smaller than it actually is. Or maybe I just have him mistransformed. That is entirely part of a possibility. But overall, I still like this mold. It's still my favorite of the group. But as you can see, the differences in the alt modes, paint scheme-wise, is significant. Though there is a nice orange Autobot symbol on the side to counteract the black Decepticon symbol. Overall, Whirl is a pretty good figure on his own. Next up is TopSpin versus Lime-flavored Brawl. And both of these figures are pretty cool, though they do both suffer from the top-heavy aspect of the backpack. Overall, though, I like both of them. I think both of them are good, but Even though I like the Brawl, I think TopSpin wins out for me simply because I like the colors a little better. Yes, the lime green, the purple, silver, and black are cool, but the orange and navy-ish blue here just seem a little bit more military-esque to me. My only issue with TopSpin is the head sculpt, and it just feels kind of like a Megatron-esque head sculpt. But maybe they were actually going for more of a ninja look, because you've got this textured pectorals, and then the head could be more of like a shinobi ninja head look. I guess? Maybe? TopSpin's weapon is an homage to his original G1 toy and figure. I mean, it's 2 drills on a gun. And then this gun up here is the same gun that the original Brawl figure came with. To activate the gimmick, push down in the gray here, and that'll spin the drills. And you can actually see the gears working there right underneath the gun up top. If I'm honest, this is probably the stupidest of all of the new guns. Just doesn't work all that well. He can hold it just fine, but when he does hold it and puts it up like this, yeah, he's not standing up on his own. In tank mode, both figures are okay. I'll be honest, the tank mode here has kind of waned on me a little bit. But I have to admit, I do appreciate the extra paint effort that was put into TopSpin, or I'm sorry, TwinTwist. I keep mixing those two up. Into TwinTwist's alt mode. Just a little dab will do ya, I feel. I like the fact that you have the thrusters back here painted more than you do on Brawl. Overall, I think TwinTwist is a good figure. Brawl's a good figure, but there are issues with both of them that unfortunately are unique to the mold. So it's hard to recommend this one. One thing that I know everybody is going to ask me to try, so I did it anyway, is yes, you can fit the double drill right between the treads to mimic the original G1 figure. It does pop the arms out of their original joints, but I don't care. That's still a cool little nifty addition that someone at Hasbro had to do that on purpose. I do appreciate that. Next up is Roadbuster, and comparing him to Swindle, well, even though I really like the purple and the yellow on Swindle, the black is just overpowering, and Roadbuster's figure handles that nicely. The green, the orange, the powder blue, and then the gray just really, really work for this guy. So much better than Swindle did. Yeah, there's still not much to see if you turn the figure around, but I like the Roadbuster character and paint scheme much more than Swindle's. Now, I'm not saying I don't like Swindle, but I just think Roadbuster is so much better. I simply adore this head sculpt. Is it perfect? Just about. Yeah, I'd say just about. It's just really, really good. And it works so much better than Swindle's bucket head. Roadbuster's weapon, though, is a little strange. He does come with the same gun that Swindle originally came with, so this weird, I swear I've seen this gun as a starship in, like, Babylon 5 or something. Anyway, so his weapon is, grabby. Yeah, kind of grabby. A little weird. I pinch. My only complaint with this guy is sometimes his arms aren't strong enough to hold the weapon, especially if you double wield him like that. So, yeah, the ball joints aren't really strong enough sometimes to hold the weapon. If you get it in decent poses where there's enough friction that it'll hold it, but if you try to put his arms straight out, oh, well, that actually worked. It didn't just like 30 seconds ago. Anyway, still, that looks pretty cool. It's like, come at me, bro. My love of Roadbuster also extends straight into the vehicle mode. Now, personally, I think Roadbuster needs to be something a little bit more beefy than an ATV, but this mold works really well for him. Now, it could also be another character if with better paint scheme, because, look, I really like this Swindle figure, but there is way too much indecipherable black going on here. While on Roadbuster, the gray really makes you able to see all the different detailing and the accents. It's just a solid little vehicle mode. The back, little hollow. Like the original character, he can wield his giant pinching gun of doom right on top, so he can drive around and shoot things and pinch people. So yeah, that's cool too. Next up is TopSpin, and I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan of white toys or white Transformers. The stark white of a figure really just kind of rubs me the wrong way. Plus, if you've ever owned a white car like I have, they are impossible to keep clean. Anyway, this is not a bad looking figure, but I think the white actually hurts him in the fact that for some reason the darker colors just work so much better on this mold. They just do to me. Everything pops more as opposed to when you've got this bright white figure with all these other brighter colors. It's kind of harder to tell the detail, except in the chest, because the little chest details and crotch details work better on the powder blue than they do on the yellow, I think. It is my personal opinion that TopSpin here is actually not as cool as Blastoff. Maybe that just has to do with the purple. I like purple a lot more than white. Another mark-off in my book for this figure is the head sculpt. I don't like it. I just don't like it. I'm sorry. I really can't explain why, other than it feels very generic, and this was the head sculpt for the G1 character, but I just don't dig it. It just doesn't work for me. Your mileage may vary, and I am quite possibly insane. What I do like, though, is his gun, which is kind of generic, I won't lie, until you pull the thing back, until you pull the button back, or push the barrel in and have trouble. Hey, Buzzsaw! Shoot, 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 round two, Buzzsaw in the face, and oh god, I broke it. Actually, no, I really didn't, because this thing seems to have a problem where if you're not sliding this mechanism straight back and you put it off to the side like that, the saw will not deploy. So what you have to do is push the barrel in, and then fold the saw all the way out. So I like to grab it here at the very bottom of the stock and pull. So run up, shoot, 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 plunk him with the barrel, buzzsaw to the face. That is actually a very accurate use of your weapons. Marcus Phoenix would be very proud. Even though I was harping on the figure's robot mode, I have to say I quite like the jet mode or shuttle mode or whatever the hell this is supposed to be. I like it a lot. The orange, there's a lot more difference in color here. Plus this little bit of blue right in the middle really breaks up the white nicely. It's just an overall nice paint job on an otherwise very bright figure. That's not to say that Blastoff is going to be outdone at all. I still like Blastoff a whole heck of a lot. But in vehicle mode, I gotta give it to TopSpin. Blastoff, definitely better in robot mode. Somehow I don't think running into something while you're flying and then sawing it is going to be a very good battle maneuver. Just stick to doing that on land, buddy. Last, and by utterly no means least, is Impactor. Here we have him next to Onslaught, and, you know, even though Onslaught's pretty good, Impactor's just so much better. The purple, the blue, and the orange just work for this mold. I really feel that this mold was made for Impactor way more than it was made for Onslaught over here. So we're just going to put Onslaught off to the side. I dig this. I absolutely love this. It just works for me in so many levels. Yeah, he's kind of got a hunchback of Iacon going here, but I don't care. I think this works so much nicer, except for the parts where things pop off. But that seems to be an issue with the whole set. That and I'm stronger than I think I am, maybe? That head sculpt is just so freaking cool. He's got the scowl and the raised lip, and he just looks ready to start something serious. Plus, double Autobot symbol. What's it mean? Impactor's weapon, attached to his original gun, is the only thing that fires, and it is his classic harpoon, except it's a three-part harpoon as opposed to just the original, like, claw harpoon. And Dang it, I keep popping ball joints on this guy. It does shoot. Oops. It is on, I'm not going to lie, it is on a very hair trigger. Very little pressure is needed. It does shoot a somewhat respectable distance, but overall, I think it's just a little bit too bulky for the figure because, quite frankly, he can't really hold it all that well. But overall, I'm really happy with Impactor. I rather like him. I would have loved to have seen him get his own original mold, but hey, beggars can't be choosers. Though I wish the ball joints would stay till... Though I wish the ball joints would stay together. If I'm honest, I'd be hard-pressed to tell you that either of these alt modes are good. I like Impactors a little more because I genuinely like the orange on purple. But let's face it, guys, this is not the best designed alt mode of all time. In fact, I'd have to go so far as to say it's one of the worst. Impactor wins out just a little bit just on the fact that it's a brighter color and you can hide designs a little bit better and there's more color uniformity going on throughout the figure on Impactor than on Onslaught. But we can't kid ourselves here, guys. This alt mode is pretty crappy. Together in vehicle mode, they all work pretty darn well, except for the stark white. That still just really irritates me. I'm sorry, guys. I know that's something stupid that you can get harped on. Just, I'm weird. What can I say? So, let's go ahead and get with the combination. We're going to start with Blast Off and Vortex. They are going to form the legs. Blast Off is, well, really easy. All I'm going to do is fold the connector legs in like that, and then kind of open up the top to allow the connector peg to, well, connect. And that's it for him. For Vortex, I'm going to take the blades, combine them like that, turn the figure, unpeg it such that the little pointer here is going to be able to move down and around a little bit, and then just kind of work it such that we can fold the legs up to form lower legs. So what we're going to do is take the lower leg section and actually pull it away from the body and then fold it out. And that will allow us to take the front head and fold it up like that. And then we just got to make sure that the chopper blades are in place. And just get this kind of pegged into place and fold the tail fin or the tail out, and that's it. So we have two somewhat stable legs ready to go. Next up is the Impactor core. I'm going to leave the legs pretty much as they are. Unfold the top of the figure. Spin the bottom part around. Take the guard up and fold that up into place. Peekaboo! I see you! Fold this section down, fold his arms up, and then flip them up to peg into those pegs in the back of his arms, and curse these ball joints. Curse them loudly and often. And there we go. Next up for Roadbuster and TwinTwist. TwinTwist is pretty cool, actually. We're going to unpeg the back here because this will peg into the robot arms, or the robot arm. Flip out his legs and then just get the connector out of the way. And then we need to get these legs combined together such that he can kick some butt. So we'll just turn the legs so that they're facing in towards each other. Reach into these areas that you might originally think are heels and flip them out to form big slapping hands. And bring the legs together. And then just kind of fold that section down, fold that up, fold that around. You can actually collapse the thrusters down, and there's an arm. Oh, and don't forget the thumb. Fold out his feet to form a thumb. So there's one arm. Roadbuster. Roadbuster will make the next arm. So what we're going to do is first unpeg the top and the bottom, and that's sometimes easier said than done. Kind of take this hinge right here and push it, and that will flip out the connector port. So get that up and out of the way. The arms up, fold them up, and then we'll kind of fold them up and in to the inside underneath the arm, or underneath the vehicle mode like that. Just get them folded up and out of the way, and I think they peg into place. I haven't been able to tell. And then reach under here and flip out a hand, because he's going to be like this. Ruination awakens. Now, I'll be the first to admit, I rather dig Ruination. I think he looks pretty freaking awesome. Is he perfect? No. He has all of the same problems that the original Bruticus has, which we have right here. He's actually also kind of a hair shorter than Bruticus, but that's just because of the legs. I mean, if we used these two guys as the legs and these as the arms, then they'd be the same height. I mean, they're practically the same figures. Though I do like having the tank and the buggy as the arms better. Now, a personal preference of mine is I don't think Ruination needs the victory flaps, so I keep them folded down for Ruination. I just think that works better for this figure. I like the flaps extended on Bruticus. Just a personal preference. So overall, I think Ruination is pretty cool. That head sculpt is also really cool. It kind of makes me think of Ultra Magnus, though, for some reason. I also wanted to show you guys the two different sets as they are when they have the alt combination. That's just taking the legs and fiddling with them such that you have them split like the original G1 combiners, as opposed to the way, or the tall and lanky way that we have this set combined. Overall, it works. I think this way, with Bruticus having the buggy and the tank as the legs it works a little better having those as the legs in this mode. One thing I haven't done, and I'm probably going to do later, is just, you know, have one mode or one figure with just, you know, two planes or two jets and two helicopters. I'm not going to show you that, guys, because quite frankly, I don't want to fool with it, and this review is long enough. So, what are my final thoughts on Ruination over here? You know, I gotta admit, even though there are still problems with this combination, I like it. I really do like it. I like the different color schemes. I like the brighter color schemes. I think it just works better in these colors than in those. The Power Ranger color scheme never really totally worked for me. Even though I do like this, I like Ruination better. And let's face it, that head is so much better than what we got with Bruticus, especially in that paint scheme. That paint scheme's just comparatively no contest. So guys, if you can, I would pick up the guys from Ruination, especially if you were never able to get Bruticus. Hope you enjoyed this video review, and I will catch you guys next time.